2021 is all about big time returns and teeth clenching debuts, so let's take a look at the newest addition to this year's Hall of New Blood. Welcome to A Run Who Does Music, where today we're taking a look at the debut album from artist American Teeth called We Should Be Having Fun. I want to give a quick, non-sponsored shout out to Lo-Fi Records, the YouTube channel, as well as the website, for constantly providing me with the music that I can use on this channel for the background. Throughout my whole YouTube career, whether it's on this channel or my main channel, it's been an absolute pain in the ass to find music that can fit a general vibe, be consistent, and is of course free to use without getting my channel absolutely wrecked by YouTube. But that channel has provided not only some great artists for that reason, but also great artists to listen to in general. If you need some new lo-fi music in your life, go check out Lo-Fi Records. Fearless Records signed American Teeth, also known as Elijah Knoll, back in October 2020 after being initially impressed by his singles such as Chemicals and Trials of a Glamorous Burnout, songs that I myself found myself listening to off and on, and I had no idea this was the same person up until I did that research. Of course, the one time I go on apps that aren't Spotify or YouTube, I find something great like this. Love that. I should do that more often. Both of those songs and just the overall alter ego and personality of Elijah or American Teeth had the exact vibe that Fearless Records needed to pump something new into the record label. Music here on this debut has some definite comparisons to high energy artists such as Set It Off or even non-label artist Youngblood. But We Should Be Having Fun isn't just a carbon copy of what you heard 1,000 times over from artists over the past couple years. There's meat in this meal and we're going to dive right into it. I think the best song to show somebody who's new to American Teeth and of course new to this album is to show them the early track Glue, which really captures the overall vibe of this album. It's catchy and easy to take in and has the perfect kind of dreamy lyrics that really make up what the alternative scene is turning into nowadays. There's also some really interesting guitar work that it's not the most expansive and intricate thing, but it does the job well and serves the album's overall sound and atmosphere really nicely, especially when it leads into the chorus of the song. Honestly, sometimes I try to go a little extra into albums and figure out, okay, what does this album feel like? What does this album remind me of? And this album really reminded me of just all, beginnings and endings. The song as well did that perfectly, just talking about a fresh, hopeful look on things. There's some very relatable and enjoyable themes told throughout this song, and the relatability and just overall interesting work doesn't end here. It's non-stop throughout the entire rest of the album here. We're getting constant great glimpses of this. Blue is a nice bonfire banger, but the next song in One of Those Days is just as vibey, but painted in a different way, a more relaxed way. One of Those Days is the perfect kind of song, just kind of, sit back, take a deep breath and say, you know what? Things are pretty fucked up right now. I'm just going to keep rolling with it though. Just going to keep rolling with the punches, doing my best. Feeling good about this. Songs like this really tell me that American Teeth and this album here, We Should Be Having Fun, it's a project all about looking at things, looking at the situations around you, whether they be positive or negative, and taking them in regardless, in spite of whether it's good or bad. Just taking it in for the sake of it, and I love that. There's a sort of, again, bold brashness to it, which is just really commendable and endearing, to say the least. This album kind of made me sit back and think, you know what, yeah, my own life's kind of fucked up right now. I'm going to take everything in as it comes, but you know what? I got a middle finger up in one hand, got a drink in the other hand. It's kind of a cliche. That's how I'm feeling, and that's how this album makes me feel. This is an album that makes you feel something. And to get that from a debut LP is fantastic. And what's even better, it's not just American Teeth going solo on this album here. We got features from a couple different people. First feature coming in from Cameron Walker of Twin XL. This collab between the two artists falls into the kind of different vibe at this point, more so looking at a relationship and realizing, hey, things are not going too fucking well at all. But the same attitude that American Teeth has had throughout this album carries on into this album, in this song here, excuse me. More of that fuck it, bring all the comers vibe, but this time towards a relationship, which is a good subject switch up. It's good to see the point of view of somebody trying to say, you know what, bring it all to me, I don't even care at this point, I'm gonna have fun regardless, I'm gonna live my life regardless, but to have a couple different targets as opposed to just vague overall life in general, and then having a singular focused target here in this track. It's a quick little additive here. It's not as long as the other lyric pieces I put in, but I really like the lyric here. I'm the worst, I'm the fucking worst. That admission, just coupled with the speaking on all tension and constant heat in the air, produces this seemingly uneasy environment, but all the same, that vibe that I keep bringing up, that feeling and emotion that I keep bringing up, just the fuck it energy. It's still running rampant here. I mentioned a couple features here, and there's a track that has the always active Dwayne and the multi-talented Femme on it. 2 people, technically 3 people, 1 collab. It's triplet. The song's sick. It's a party-centered and party-focused song. And this melting pot of 3 different voices and idealists coming together is one of the standout moments here on the album for a number of reasons. First and foremost, whether you like the original artist or the collaborative artist, sometimes a feature or a collab or just having somebody come in for one quick line it can feel kind of forced. It can feel maybe not forced, but it can kind of feel like the artists are friends and they're just like, hey, fuck it, come on in here, sing a couple lines, let's just have some fun with it. Which isn't always a bad thing, but can come across as kind of like, okay, yeah, they were here, but where's the rest? In the 3 minute runtime here in this song, it didn't feel like anybody at any point was just kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna kind of phone it in for this one. We're still gonna have a good time with it. They made sure they had a good time and produced something quality at the same time. Whether you get down to this song by taking it in the metaphorical and kind of literal drug of serotonin or the literal drug of cocaine, this is a song that feels like it deserves to be in a party playlist to replace some of the more overdone party songs. Seriously, how many parties and movies do I have to watch where it's just the same top 40 hits? It's 2021. Why am I hearing Smack That in a movie? Sorry, that was aggressive. Back to the review. This track, putting aside the other artists for a second, focusing solely on American Teeth, shows that his style blends really well with others, which is always a fantastic thing for a number of reasons. If your style makes sense with other artists, that makes tours a lot easier and a lot more enjoyable. If you go there, you can actually not only know the artist from that collab, that'd be amazing. Imagine American Teeth, Femme, and Dwayne, please. But it also shows that your style has some more girth to it, has some more substance to it beyond just you yourself. You can bring in other people and you can appeal to other people because you work so well with others, if any of that makes sense. Something I really didn't expect to happen here is the opposite of what I exactly expected to happen here. I saw this was a debut album and I kind of sat there going, fuck. It's full EP. I feel like we're going to get something that's just sort of, there's going to be a filler song at one point. There's going to be a song that just feels like a part two to another song earlier on the album here. But every song here, every track has some unique element to make it stand out from another and make it individual and easy to recognize. Like I said, debuts in general, for better or for worse, there can be a lot of similar elements. Sometimes those similar elements are really good, but more often than not, you get, hey, we're fuckboy in the ass fucks. This is our album. It's 12 songs, but 5 of them sound the exact same. That doesn't happen here. A song in which we should be having fun that really takes it a step further and finds that individuality, sorry, sort of there a little bit, a lot easier than most is Talk. This song delves into more of like a rap lyrical sense in a positive as opposed to a negative way. And it sort of blends and comes across easy and very fitting in the new alternative bubble in a very similar sense to what Nothing Nowhere and Are Dying in Design, or two similar artists, have been kind of doing all the same. On the surface, it gives off a sort of like SoundCloud fluff energy here, but it still fits in with the rest of the album, which is an overall more pop-centric, but pop-punk record. Or at least pop-punk is the vibe I'm getting here. If there's an official genre for this that I'm fucking up and not saying correctly, please, somebody correct me here. But like I said, a lot of artists, Dying Designer, Nothing Nowhere, and 100 dozen plus more, have been bringing in more rap sensibilities, more of a alternative, even hip-hop or R&B energy to some of their music to sort of blend that in with pop punk or even some post-hardcore projects and other genres that fall into the Warped Tour alternative press scene. And American Teeth here is blending that effortlessly. That's why he started off with, really, with his early songs like Chemicals and Life of a Glamorous Burnout. Sorry, Trials of a Glamorous Burnout. I fucked up the name, I apologize. Bringing that influence into the flavor here, and once again making a comparison to a melting pot, shows that American Teeth, once again, he has an eye, an ear, and a dedication in his heart towards creating something that's overall unique. Every song in the album itself, it stands out from the rest. And another song that is more than just unique, it's one that stops you in your tracks. I use that illusion so often in my reviews, and I apologize for that, but it really did this for me, really fully stopped me and made me pause, is the ending song, To Be Loved. The instrumental is a hushed, vibrating tone. American Teeth guides things along here with some very thoughtful, very dreamy lyricism and singing, and the atmosphere is suffocating in a way, but in the same way that a really soft blanket is suffocating, if that's not the weirdest illusion you've heard all day. It's like, yeah, it's covering me, it's all around me, but I like it. It feels warm. It feels familiar. I'm enjoying it. It feels like the fuck attitude, the party elements that were featured in this album before, all that sort of melts away, and you get this pure, thought-driven topic here, talking about, well, how it feels to be loved, wanting to be loved, the sadness that you can dive into when you're wanting that or craving that. It's a fresh song, and it adds more weight to this already hefty album. It's chock full of reasons to talk about it, chock full of reasons to admire it. It feels like every label right now has that one or two bands that it feels like they're eventually going to become the face of the future of the record label. It feels like eventually they're going to be what Asking Alexandria was to Sumerian Records back in the day. Like a few examples here, like Afterlife and Point North feel like they're the future of Hopeless Records. Rise Records has Mothica. Sumerian has Palais Royale. They're a little already getting some big crown in their career, but they can only go up from there. It feels like every label has an artist that's going to be the future. And right now, American Teeth feels like the future of Fearless. This album checks all the boxes required for an outstanding debut album. And like I said for Palais Royale, for American Teeth, you can only go up from here. You can only get better, or at your worst, produce the same level of genuine greatness that this album has. Doesn't have to be perfect, but it's fucking mint. And for those reasons, We Should Be Having Fun by American Teeth gets a 7.8 out of 10 album score. So that's the end of the review. What do you guys think about American Teeth? Did you know about them before they got signed by Fearless? Did you know about them afterwards? Are you hearing about them for the first time right now? I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on American Teeth in the future, and I can't wait to see what they put out next. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you want to talk about something I may have missed or something in the video that you want to talk further about down in the comment section, let's start a conversation. Let's get it going. Regardless, have a great day. Stay hydrated. I'll see you next time.